Yo, what's up boys, this is Vex from Crafty Vets MMA, and in today's debut long-form video, I will tell you about the fighters the UFC needs to sign in my personal opinion. But Vex, why should the UFC sign new fighters? First of all, that's a stupid question. Second of all, because all of the Angs keep beating the prospects that are already in the UFC. They've had Paddy to Gaethje, and look at what happened. We need prospects like Yifin Yu-Wing, who took a fight against Wellmaker on like 2 days notice and handed him his first loss. First one on my list is Usman Nurmagomedov. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this man, but just in case you are not, he's a Dagestani coming from Khabib's camp, and I actually think he's Khabib's cousin if I'm not mistaken. He's pretty known for his 2 fights with Paul Hughes in the PFL, which were like the Temu version of Conor vs Khabib. I am personally not a big fan of this guy, but there is no doubt that he is very skilled and very well rounded. He actually has an upcoming fight at the PFL New York, which brings me to his record. As y'all see, he won 4 out of his last 4 fights, and has a previously mentioned upcoming fight against Archie Colgan. I do think Usman wins against this guy. As you can see, he has 3 decisions in his last 4 fights, but both of the Paul Hughes fights were entertaining from what I remember. He also has like a 70% finish rate, which ain't too bad. The final reason why I think personally the UFC should sign him is because he's a big name, one of the most known prospects outside of the UFC, and would definitely bring some more eyes to the UFC, especially from the Dagestani community. Moving on, Dakota Dicheva, the only female fighter I have on this list, but me oh my, where do I even start? She trains at the American Top Team, she's only 27 years old, and she already has 15 fights with almost 90% finish rate. It's genuinely insane for a women's MMA fighter. She's mainly a striker, most of her finishes come by KO, and her Muay Thai is genuinely beautiful to watch, and I hope her contract with the PFL ends soon so the UFC can sign her. She also has a confirmed upcoming bout, which brings me to her record. She won 4 out of her last 4 fights, and damn, the finishes are nasty, especially the Jenna Bishop and Chelsea Hackett ones. Her body shots are genuinely insane, and she has everything. She has takedown defense, crazy knees, crazy kicks, crazy elbows, insane boxing. She's the complete package and would finally make women's flyweight entertaining again. Moving on. Matěj Peňaz. Quick little side note, I am very biased here, because I am from the same country Matěj is from. So I'ma try to rush through this one ASAP. He's extremely entertaining, he has a 90% finish rate, 10 wins, 9 knockouts. His only loss was at Contender Series to Dambes, via our first round guillotine, I believe. And that really pissed me off. Unfortunately, he's pulling out of bouts all the time, which brings me to his record. He won 4 out of his last 4, but he pulls out all the damn time. It's really sad because he keeps getting injured. As you see from the way he's ending fights, he's insanely entertaining. And fun fact, Chepo, who he has cancelled bouts with, just got signed to the UFC and will be fighting on UFC Belgrade. The only reason why I think the UFC should sign him is because he's entertaining. Realistically, I don't think he makes it very far in the organizations. Rico Verhoeven. Now look, I know this man is never getting signed. He just got the big boxing money from fighting Usyk, and we all know the boxing money is much better than the UFC money. Would it be awesome to have him? Of course. It would be huge for the UFC. It would bring a completely new community of fighters and fighter fans to our sport, aka the kickboxing fans. Now, I won't bullshit you. I don't know much about kickboxing. I don't know nothing about his opponents, but from what I heard people say, when he was fighting legit competition. Obviously, his fight with Usyk in boxing got stopped way too early. I personally think he was on a path to victory if he survived round 12. Unfortunately, the judges planned to rob him anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, if we come back to the topic of him getting signed, it's highly improbable, but it would be huge for the UFC. Here you can see his last 4 fights. As I said, I don't know much about it, so judge it by yourself. I won't even attempt to read his name, but this man is genuinely insane. 19-0, 100% finish rate, never seen the third round, most of his finishes are in round 1. When he gets signed, he will be the boogeyman. I may be overglazing him a little bit, but I think he could reach top 5 featherweight in the UFC without any major problems. He is that good. Coming to his record, he won all of his last 4 fights via a round 1 TKO. This is the kind of man who doesn't need to make a gesture of himself to get eyes on him. Just hope it. The moment this man gets signed, he will get a highlight finish in his debut. I can guarantee that. I don't know why he isn't in the UFC yet. Maybe he still has fights on his recent contract, but this man is the real deal. This is everything from me today, boys. I hope you enjoyed this channel's debut long form video. Feel free to share your thoughts and opinions in the comments. I'm dipping right now. Peace.